Dirk Nowitzki played 21 seasons in the NBA. He's been a season MVP, a Finals MVP, an NBA champion, a 12-time All-NBA selection, a 14-time All-Star, and a member of the NBA 75th anniversary team while playing against the best power forwards in the league, from Karl Malone to Tim Duncan to Kevin Garnett. He led the Dallas Mavericks on one of the most epic runs to win the NBA Finals, beating the super team of the Miami Heat. But as great as Dirk was, his career was star-crossed due to multiple struggles. From teams questioning his readiness to play in the NBA, to losing his co-star, enduring a controversial NBA Finals series, and suffering a first-round upset, Dirk faced many challenges. Let's dive into the career of one of the greatest big men in the NBA, from his early life struggles to his heartbreaking seasons to his redemption. Born in Würzburg, Germany, Dirk Werner Nowitzki comes from an athletic family. His mother, Helga Nowitzki, was a professional basketball player, and his father, Georg Werner, was a handball player who represented Germany at the highest international level. His older sister, Silke Nowitzki, a local champion in track and field, also became a basketball player and now works for the NBA in international TV. After joining the local DJK Würzburg, the 15-year-old attracted the attention of former German international basketball player Holger Geschwindner, who spotted his talent immediately and offered to coach him individually 2 to 3 times per week. After a year, the coach was so impressed with Nowitzki's progress that he advised him, "You must now decide whether you want to play against the best in the world or just stay a local hero in Germany. If you choose the latter, we will stop training immediately, because nobody can prevent that anymore. But if you want to play against the best, we have to train on a daily basis."
Holger, what impact did he have on your life?
He was just a huge mentor, and I owe him everything because I wasn't sure at the time at 15 where this journey in basketball would take me, and he taught me everything. He taught me how to move, to shoot, and also helped me off the court with stuff, with school, and just growing into the person I wanted to become. So
Dirk participated in the Nike Hoop Heroes Tour, where he played against NBA stars like Charles Barkley and Scottie Pippen. In a 30-minute show match, Nowitzki outplayed Barkley and even dunked on him.
Michael, Scottie, a bunch of guys, like NBA players. Dirk was like 18. This is when Scottie was quote-unquote the best defender in the world. So Dirk is kicking our ass. He's got like 25 at halftime. And me and Michael like, "Scottie, you got to pick it up a little bit." He's, "Man, I'm going to lock him down in the second half. I'm going to lock him down in the second half." Dirk finished with like 52.
In the 1998 draft, Dirk was selected 9th overall by the Milwaukee Bucks, but was traded to the Dallas Mavericks, along with Pat Garrity for Robert Traylor, the Mavs' 6th pick. Pat Garrity was later traded by the Mavericks to the Phoenix Suns for Steve Nash. If the Bucks had opted not to trade Dirk, he would have been teammates with Ray Allen, Glenn Robinson, and Sam Cassell. The Bucks, who were 2 years away from battling the Allen Iverson-led Philadelphia 76ers in a grueling 7-game series in the 2001 Eastern Conference Finals, might have had a better chance to beat the 76ers with Dirk on their team, although defeating the Lakers duo would still have been a challenge. Traylor only lasted for 2 seasons with the Bucks, averaging a meager 4 points per game. In Dallas, Nowitzki joined a franchise that had last made the playoffs in 1990. Shooting guard Michael Finley captained the squad, supported by 7'6" center Sean Bradley, once a number 2 draft pick, and team scoring leader Cedric Ceballos, an ex-Laker forward, along with newly recruited Steve Nash. The start of the season was delayed by the 1998-99 NBA lockout, which put the entire season in jeopardy. In limbo, Nowitzki returned to DJK Würzburg and played 13 games. When the season finally started, Nowitzki struggled. Played as a power forward by coach Don Nelson, the 20-year-old felt overpowered by the more athletic NBA forwards, was intimidated by the expectations as a number 9 pick, and played poor defense. Hecklers taunted him as Nowitzki, omitting the D.
What's so good about fencing is they're attacking, but while they attack, they also always play defense. So basically, Holger's philosophy there was on defense. Basically, you have to be active with your hands and without selling out and giving too much up, and somebody can just blow by you. So it was a cool experience. But as we all know, I think defense wasn't really my strong suit. So I don't think the fencing took my defense to another level, but it was fun to see.
He only averaged 8.2 points and 3.4 rebounds in 20.4 minutes of playing time. Dirk was so frustrated with his performance during his rookie season that he even contemplated returning to Germany. The Mavs finished the season with only 19 wins in 50 games and missed the playoffs. With a disappointing season behind him and a new owner creating a better environment within the organization, Dirk improved rapidly. He averaged 17 points and 6 rebounds, finishing second in Most Improved Player voting, and participated in the three-point contest, becoming the tallest player ever to participate. While his statistical improvement in his second season was significant, the Mavericks still failed to make the playoffs. In his third season, Dirk continued to improve, making the All-NBA third team while his teammate Finley made the All-Star team, and Nash facilitated the ball. The Mavs made the playoffs for the first time since 1990. In the first round, they met the Utah Jazz, led by veterans Karl Malone and John Stockton. The Mavericks won the series in 5 games, setting up a meeting with their Texas rivals, the San Antonio Spurs. The Mavericks lost the first 3 games of the series, and Nowitzki fell ill with the flu, and later lost a tooth after a collision with Spurs guard Terry Porter. After a Game 4 win, Nowitzki scored 42 points and grabbed 18 rebounds in Game 5, but could not prevent a deciding 105-87 loss. The next year, Dirk participated in his first All-Star game, and his team made the playoffs. They swept the Kevin Garnett-led Minnesota Timberwolves, but they were defeated by another power forward rival, Chris Webber, and the Sacramento Kings in 5 games. In the 2002-2003 season, the Dallas Mavericks won 60 games, their franchise best. During the playoffs, the Mavericks remained hot, winning the first 3 games against Rasheed Wallace's Portland Trail Blazers, but they lost the next 3 games. On the verge of being the first team to lose after holding a 3-0 lead in a 7-game series, Dirk ensured victory with his clutch plays in Game 7. In the next round, they met Webber's Kings again, but this time, the Mavericks defeated them in 7 games. In his first Western Conference Finals appearance, Dirk and the Mavs met a familiar foe, the Spurs. In Game 3, with the series tied at 1 game apiece, Dirk went up for a rebound, and Spurs guard Manu Ginobili collided with his knee, forcing him out of the series. Without their top scorer, the Mavericks ultimately lost in 6 games.
03. You hurt your knee in Game 4 against the Spurs.
I didn't mean that, but I'm glad you
no.
How tough is that? I mean, obviously changed the series dramatically. Mentally, kind of your first injury in the NBA, big injury in the NBA.
Yeah, that was terrible. That was the year when we had Van Exel, and he was amazing for us.
Unbelievable.
We had a fun crew that year. I still think you guys would have beaten us. Honestly, I mean, you guys were so solid, and with Timmy and everybody. I mean, I still don't think, even if I'm healthy, we win that series. But
at least go 7.
It would have been interesting. It would have been interesting. I think like we had such a good run, but they were such a juggernaut on defense that our offense never really clicked the way we wanted, because they were so smart, well coached, and Timmy in the middle. And so I'm not sure we would have beaten you guys, but that was brutal to sit there and
watch.
I think it was Manu fell into my knee, and I just sprained my knee, and I wanted to play so bad the next game. And then I even went to the pregame workout, and I looked okay. And that's where actually Nelly and Cuban got into it a little bit, and they were never on the same page again. I think Cubes wanted me to play the way I worked out pregame, and Nelly was like, listen, he's 23.
Long career ahead of him.
Long career ahead of him. I'm not going to play him.
That's what Cube said.
And so they didn't see eye to eye actually ever since after that. So
the next 2 seasons were cruel for Dirk. First, his coach Don Nelson decided to use him as a center. To cope with his more physical role, Nowitzki put on 20 pounds of muscle mass over the summer, sacrificed part of his agility, and put more emphasis on defense rather than scoring. His scoring dropped drastically. In the playoffs, they were eliminated in the first round by the Kings. Then, in the offseason, the Mavericks decided to let go of Steve Nash. Nash decided to join the Suns, where he would win his first MVP. Coach Don Nelson resigned and was replaced by Avery Johnson. The Mavs won the first round against Tracy McGrady's Houston Rockets in 7 games, but they lost in 6 games in the next round against Nash's Phoenix Suns. Prior to the 2005-06 NBA season, veteran Mavericks captain Michael Finley was waived, leaving Nowitzki as the last player remaining from the Mavericks' Big Three of Nash, Finley, and himself. Dirk embraced the challenge of being the Mavs franchise player. He led the team to a 60-win season, sweeping the Memphis Grizzlies in the first round. In the second round, they faced the Spurs again, but this time they prevailed in 7 games behind Dirk's clutch performance in Game 7. In the West Finals, they met his friend Steve Nash and the Suns. Dirk dropped 50 points in Game 5, and the Mavs eliminated the Suns in 6 games, advancing to the NBA Finals for the first time in franchise history. They faced Shaquille O'Neal and Dwayne Wade's Miami Heat. In the finals, it looked like the Mavericks would take their first championship, winning the first 2 games by a double digits. In Game 3, with a 9-point lead going into the fourth quarter and a 10-point lead with 5 minutes remaining after a Devin Harris layup, the Heat went on a 13-2 run, taking the lead 94-93. With 43 seconds left, James Posey of the Heat made 1 of 2 free throws. Then Harris made a layup to tie the game. But with 9 seconds remaining, Heat's Gary Payton knocked down a 21-foot jump shot. Dirk had a chance to salvage a win. He was fouled by Udonis Haslem with 3 seconds left. Dirk made the first free throw but missed the second. It seemed okay because they still led the series 2-1, but then a succession of bad luck happened. In Game 4, they lost by 24 points, with Dirk only scoring 16 points on 2 of 14 field goal attempts. In Game 5, the game was close and went into 2 overtimes with a jump shot from Wade. In overtime, Dirk sank a 19-footer to give the Mavs a 1-point lead with 9 seconds left, but he committed a foul against Wade, who nailed both free throws to win the game. They lost Game 6 by 3 points, and the Heat won their first championship, which supposedly belonged to Dirk if not for their sudden collapse. The next season was supposed to be Dirk's revenge season. He won the MVP, joined the 50-40-90 club, and led the Mavericks to their franchise-best 67-15 season. It looked like Dirk would have the perfect season, until they met the Golden State Warriors in the first round, coached by Don Nelson, Dirk's former Dallas coach. Although the Warriors were the 8th seed, they beat the Mavericks 3 times in the regular season because Nelson knew how to play against his former team. Dirk struggled against Nelson's defense, which used smaller but faster defenders on him. The We Believe Warriors team beat them in 6 games. This was a heartbreaking moment for Dirk, as fans and media labeled him a playoff choker due to his poor performance in the 2006 Finals and the 2007 playoffs. In the next 3 seasons, the Mavs never advanced past the Western Conference semifinals. Entering his 12th season, Dirk was 32, and 10 out of the 12-man roster was 25 years old and above. They had a 37-year-old point guard, and their second-best scorer was also 32 years old. They also lost one of their core players to injury throughout the playoffs. But Dirk and the Mavs were on a mission. They beat Brandon Roy and LaMarcus Aldridge's Portland Trail Blazers in 6 games. In the second round, they swept the defending champion LA Lakers. In the Western Finals, they dismantled the young but talented OKC Thunder. In the finals, they had a chance for revenge as they faced the Miami Heat and Dwayne Wade. But this time, Wade had 2 superstar teammates, LeBron James and Chris Bosh. The Heat won Game 1, and with a 15-point lead with 7 minutes left in Game 2, it looked like they would take a 2-0 lead. But the Mavericks went on a 20-2 run to take a 3-point lead. The Heat managed to tie the game with a 3-pointer from Mario Chalmers, but Dirk showed his clutch genes, making the layup to tie the series. The Heat won Game 3, but the Mavericks took the next 3 games to win their first NBA title. Dirk destroyed the narrative of being a playoff choker by making the best playoff run to win the championship. The next season, the Dallas management undermined Dirk's chance to defend his title by trading their big man, Tyson Chandler. If you want to know the details of how the 2011 Mavericks collapsed, the Secret Base channel tackled it perfectly in their video, which I will share the link to below. Dirk might have had a chance to win another NBA title if he had not been too loyal. In 2014, he took a pay cut to return to Dallas, despite some playoff contending teams wanting him. The guy continued to be loyal despite only having 4 All-Star Mavericks teammates in his 21-year career. And that's the incredible journey of Dirk Nowitzki, a true legend who redefined what it means to be loyal and resilient. Despite the heartbreaks and setbacks, Dirk's dedication to the Dallas Mavericks and his determination to succeed made him one of the greatest players in NBA history. Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into Dirk's career. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more in-depth NBA content. Let us know in the comments below your favorite Dirk Nowitzki moment, or what other NBA legends you'd like us to cover next. Until next time.